Hey, I am going to show you guys really quickly a little tour of the weekly report, especially for those that are not so comfortable in Excel and don't know what all is in there. Just want to give you a real quick 5-minute tour of the things that I look at and the things I think will be helpful for you too. So let me go over here, share my screen. Very cool. So this here is a spreadsheet. When you open it up, it's got all of the weekly results that come up in here. So if you can see here, there's a listing of all the events. If an event has already occurred this year, then it shows up in gray. Everything else below it is in white. And there are two sheets. As you've seen in the PDF file too, there are kind of all the main header results for a particular event, which I'll go through. But then also we have the next sheet, which is on breakups of participants and the ways that we kind of look at them. So if you look here, you have obviously the date of the event, how many weeks till the event is going to occur, what the total raise is. This number here is for the event. The only reason why this number might be different than what's on the web page at the moment that I took the report is 6K referrals that our participants are receiving. I remove those out. I mean, if you're not sure what that means, then talk to Josh or Sinead on that, mostly for the Twin Cities 6K and the Chicago 6K. We have started adding child sponsorship numbers for those events that we're doing it. We're going to continue that through the fall events as we track those there. We also have, so number of teams that shows up in Donor Drive. Commitments, this is either coming from your playbooks or FileMaker, the report that's in there. This is the number of commitments from church launches. How many Donor Drive pages do you have? How many real runners? Again, I'm working off of either your playbook or what's showing up in FileMaker. And then we're looking at two different rates. The first one is, what is the ratio of the real runners that you have to the number of people that committed at your church launches, okay? And what's the percentage? Then the next rate is real runners to how many pages you have on Donor Drive. And you can see that these percentages vary. So it really depends on what the quality of the data, especially that we get on commitments and real runners, can impact how those, what those percentages are and what they mean, obviously, from one event to the next, especially as we compare endurance events like your normal marathon, half marathons to invitationals and everything in between. Those can vary as to what the expectation is. So I just leave those up to you. So we also look, our events are compared to last year. What happened at the event last year? So this shows you as of that week, so it'll probably make more sense if we look at events that are still live. So 3 weeks ago for the Bank of America, the Chicago Marathon, with 3 weeks left till race day, the race last year had raised $856,700. So that's with 3 weeks till. So it's looking at the number of weeks till the event and then looks back at the history and what the correlating number. Likewise with a number of Donor Drive pages that were on the system on that date. So then you can see the model according to with this many number of weeks left in relation to the SMART goal for the race. This then tells you what we normally see or expected the race to have raised up until that point. So again, keeping that in mind. That's how these numbers all relate. Obviously, things change, human behavior is different. We have this event hero level stuff going on right now. Numbers and behaviors are changing. So the model will probably be changing again for 2017 events as we relook at it again. So that's the first page. The second page down here is we look at what's the number of participants. And again, this is Donor Drive web pages that are doing this race, and really this number means they're doing any race with us for the first time. If they're doing Chicago this year and last year they had done Grand Rapids, they'll show up as a repeat. So again, keep in mind that repeats they've done, this is their second or greater of doing any kind of event with us. And then we look at what's the repeat rate in relation to, for a particular event, how many of those runners are doing it again with us, or doing an event again with us. Okay, then we look at what I call buckets, which are the 1,300 and above, 3,000, 5,000, and then 10,000 plus. How many runners set a goal, and then accordingly, how much have they raised so far, and what buckets they fall into. This gives you an idea for where people are at, both in terms of where they set their goals, and then how they're doing, especially as we get closer to event day, or maybe impact night, and we want people to increase their goals. Now we know how many to target, this type of thing. So that's really where we're using those numbers. And we can also see for our events, we're offering the Hero Level Challenge. What kind of response rates are we getting for them to choose the Hero Level Challenge? If you can see, for many of our events, so if you look at Chicago and Twin Cities, very clearly 55 to 56%. And then most of our other hybrid events are tracking right around 37 to 39%. So somewhere close to 40%. Very, very clearly in that, in that type of bandwidth, or in that range. Okay, and that is it for the second page. And again, we've got 2016 in one set, and then down below are 2017. Now, one of the other things that I'm doing this year is, or right now, is event profiles. So if you want to have a conversation, especially like, so we have Long Beach up here. If you're Don and you're managing multiple events, and we want to have a conversation now about Long Beach, he can bring up Long Beach, that where we're not looking at this humongous spreadsheet, and we can look at just Long Beach here and look at the numbers that matter. Again, these are the same numbers that are on the big spreadsheet. We've got everything that we just talked through, but now it's just for one event, one profile. We can focus on it. It's easy to see all the numbers in one place. So I found that to be super helpful for me as I'm managing San Antonio. And likewise, if you want to just change the event, then just scroll down. Now I want to talk about Detroit. I'm Anton, and I want to look at the numbers here. I pull up Detroit, up come the numbers. Likewise, I just created today the one for just the 2017 events. And so you can do the same thing for pulling up 2017 events and showing what the numbers are. Okay, so then if we go to now the team breakups. So what I found too is, as a rep, I often wanted to just see what are the tallies in a real quick, easy way without having to move around to a bunch of different places, and see what were the breakups of my my teams. So what we do here is you go in here and let's say we're Sinead and we want to look up the Twin Cities race. So now I can see all of my teams. She's got a lot of teams. I can see what their tallies are, both for number of runners, total donations, and it also provides you what the average raise is. So especially as I want to compare and look at how certain teams are doing, I'll use those averages to get a sense for how much money per runner they're raising, and looking at from one team to the next, and what teams I want to be focusing on, giving a little bit more love to. So those are team breakups. The next set of reports that are really helpful is the leaderboard. And the leaderboards are going to show you by event who your top fundraisers are. This has every participant on this sheet. It's not just the leaders. So keep in mind, but that's the whole purpose of the sheet, is to find who my leaders are in the fundraising and how I want to be targeting them with different communications and messaging. So I can go up here and select my event on this page. Let's say I'm Josh. I'm going to choose my event, Chicago Marathon. Here it's going to sort. Again, it's sorting it by top fundraisers and down. And then you can see their names. You can see what team they come from. So if you want to just select team, you can select just the team and see it that way, or by event, however you want to do it. Okay. Again, we have this for 2016, but we also have this for 2017. And then the last one that's on here is who has hit legacy. You could run this in the 2016 leaderboard and see who your legacy people are for your event. But if you want just one list that has all the legacy people here for all events, here you go, you can see it. Now keep in mind that this does not mean that there are 124 unique people. What I've done is any event that they're registered in, You can see that's, Sinead here is showing up a bunch of times. So just keep that in mind. These are not all unique names. Anybody, once they hit legacy for all the total fundraising that they've done, all the events that they're currently registered in, they're going to show up on this. So unique people out of 124 is probably somewhere more likely around 70 at this point than it is 120. But obviously, as we get closer to fall season events, that number is going to go up significantly. That is it. That is your tour of, very quick tour. Let's see here how far we're into this. The screen's not telling me, so that's okay. But keep in mind, if you have any questions, I'm hoping that for those that don't use this very often, got a little bit more comfortable with it, and now you'll be able to want to use it more. And if you have more questions, certainly reach out to me. Thanks. Bye.